I know exactly what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice. Uncomplicated. Just the way I like it. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come. Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start. Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made. Life at sea. It does have a way of simplifying things down to the bare elements. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it? Sorted out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours. Ask me again when I'm wearing the big hat. That'll be a different Maya. But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers. Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together. He came back from the Deerwood with his head full of stories about the Ingwithans. Used them to make an argument for our expansion into the north, and by the gods did people ever listen. He lost some of that childish glow, but the weird ideas stayed with him. You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it. If you want to hear a voice like a powder keg belting out Rauatayan anthems while you're running at a dragon, be my guest. Some of us find it distracting. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there. Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain. Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they immigrated to Rauatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities. Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. You're telling me. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better. I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stink Feathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since.
A life without friction or challenge has left the boy in need of guidance. He thinks himself frail, but my heart beats in his chest. He is stronger than either of you could know.
Captain, what say? You look a little blue about the gills. Ngati spoke to you. Ha! To leave her son guessing. Oh, this is my tricksome mother through and through. It is a mother's right to protect her sacred offspring, Captain. You must be special indeed for Ngati to speak with words. For her people, she lays out cryptic stepping stones hidden in omens. Akira, but send her my fondest wishes. Akira, what say? Haruihi would not have told you the entire story. There is a good reason. Whatever is happening in the gullet, I believe that water shapers are at the center of it. Let me explain. When water shapers are not attending to their duties, they are dispatched into the city. Nekataka's great sculptures require some maintenance to hold their form. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, Myru keeps a tight leash. One evening, I snuck out and followed a group of shapers. I expected to find myself in Serpent's Crown. And to my surprise, they went down to the gullet. We are not forbidden from entering the gullet, but it is simply not done. If they have broken the Crown's law, I simply want to know how and why. There are no water sculptures in the Raparu district. The Crown only flaunts our power where it can be displayed for foreigners. At least, a better class of foreigners than the type who frequent the gullet. You have questions? Akira, I have answers. Between the Crown and the Guild, Nekataka has high hopes for Ngati's chosen son, I say. If Ngati had not blessed me, I say the goddess touched me for more than enriching one tribe, glorifying one island. Akira, yes. I say there is me, Tekehu. And there is the Tekehu others would make like a coconut husk doll. The more I try to be the Tekehu I know I am, the harder I am constrained. What say? They sit me on the pedestal and observe. Then, when I make a move, they say, "Not so fast." Many think that I have a duty to the Huana. I say I am the only one unconvinced. Kara, just so. I know how I seem. We did not have this word, conceded, before Adirans landed on the Isles. If Ngati had not touched me, I wonder if anyone would care.
Poor boy. He has it backward, as usual. I did not choose him so that he could do great things. I chose him because talent should be fostered toward any end. How fortunate that you are here to set him on the right path. I know you won't disappoint.
Apologies. I say I never miss an opportunity to talk about myself. You have questions? Kara, I have answers. The Kahunga are my tribe, but my people settled on Atua, an island too modest to deserve the attention of maps. My mortal mother tans boar hides. My father trades in the abundance of pearls and opals Atua is blessed to provide. When I was born, Father called me his blue topaz boy. Doubtless, I say. But I am the most precious gem of recent history. Godlike are revered as bringers of local change, but only Ngati's chosen is thought to deliver an omen for all Huana at once. Ekera, high winds stirred the vigor of the seas. 2 huts collapsed before our local storm speaker could shout down the weather. They say the skies only cleared when I fell into the midwife's basket. Peace had returned to the island, or so the Matara predicted. Oh, I could not be kept from the water, so my father taught me how to dive for pearls and azada snails. Ngati filled my palms with riches on every harvest, I say. When I came of an age to begin a man's pursuits, the Mataru reached out to the Kahanga Queen. Weighing my arrival against the forces that descended on her territory, the Queen could not invite Ngati's chosen into the Water Shapers Guild fast enough. In hard times, the endorsement of a goddess is more valuable than currency. Ekera, speak on. Ah, the art of our ancestors, I say. To bend water to our will is a gift from Mother Ngati to her chosen people. Since devastation swept our way of life out to sea, too much of the art has been lost. Periki, founder of the guild, organized the lore of Ngati's talent into a series of postures and meditations we call the 4 forms of water shaping. Try as we might to embody Ngati's element, our bodies are not water. Ekera, this is the form of grief, a beginner's test. The body's internal water is a force that conquers all. Even the mountain will bow to the stream. The form of hope, I say. Water commands its vessel, and the vessel can be shaped as surely as the mountain. The form of metamorphosis, Ekera? The art is a challenge to grasp, difficult to master, and impossible to perfect. Unless you are Ngati's chosen, I say. Ah, it is only by force of habit that I omit the final form. We do not speak of it in the guild. The form of transcendence. Only a story, I say. Even crafty Periki could not commit this ancient form to her scrolls. It was said that our ancestors could shape the very oceans of the Deadfire. This was Ngati's true gift, but we have yet to recover it from the ruins of our past.
Your orders, Captain?
I'm here.
You were saying? Speak your mind, Captain.
What can I do? That one.
Eccoci. You have business here? You are in luck. The governor is between meetings. Go on in.
What can I do?
The Watcher. From the palace, yes? You made quite the impression on the Canton Ч10. He went on for ages. Welcome. Make yourself comfortable. I am Lueva Alvari, Governor-in-Residence of the Valiant Trading Company here in Nekataka. What brings you to my door? Generous of him. I am a little surprised he gave you up, to be honest. His operations on Port Maget must be going more smoothly than reported. How much do you know about the luminous Adra trade? Ach, he does love a good speech, Ikosi. Some weeks ago, we received word of a large quantity of luminous Adra on a distant island. Pukokahara. It is not charted on any of our maps. However, Pukokahara is said to neighbor the island of Tikawara, and we've already made contact with the natives there. We dispatched an expedition to Tikawara with instructions to locate the Adra site and determine its value. Our people have neither returned nor sent any word on their progress. We are too long delayed, and someone must finish the job. A watcher can determine if there is essence in the Adra, if it is worth the trouble and investment to remove it. Information for which we are willing to pay. Yes, I take your meaning. Here, a taste of what's to come. This will be of some use to you, I think. It entitles you to act as a commissioned agent of the Valiant Trading Company. Present it and you will be recognized as such. Until then, I believe we're finished. Return here once you have word of our agents and our prize. Oh, and take care upon the open sea. There are greater hazards in these waters than a few pirates.
Certainly.
Could I have a moment of your time? I know someone who works in this tower. An animancer named Joccolo. I'd like to see him if we could. Agressima. It should not take long. I have not seen him in many years, and I wanted to thank him.
You feeling all right, Pallegina? You sure you don't mean yell at him?
When I was a girl, he visited me in the academy. He was studying godlike. Studying what was in our souls that made us different from other kith. He found something in me. Something that resonated like a chime when he held an instrument near me. He said it was like this for all godlike. Different chimes resonating for different types. But you are not godlike. In any case, he told me it was what was causing my body to change. I begged him to remove it. He refused at first, saying it was impossible. When I told him I would kill myself if he didn't, he said he would try.
No one should ever be driven to that. Least of all a little girl.
I don't expect you to understand, but I was 12. My body was changing in many ways. Being the only girl, the only godlike girl at the academy, was unbearable. Agrasima. Giacomo was not able to remove the chime, but he was able to sever it. When it happened, I blacked out. I did not wake for 2 weeks. The Brotherhood ejected him from the academy for ruining their pet godlike. They assumed I would die. I did not. Over time, I lost most of my feathers. The shape of my nose changed. It was not enough to make me fully Kalbandra, but it was enough to keep me from wanting to die. When I looked in a mirror, what I saw was not a godlike. Not something to be paraded around. It was me. Finally, me. No. You do not decide who I am. Helia does not decide who I am. The Brotherhood does not decide who I am. I decide who I am. Giacomo respected that. He respected me. Without his help, I would probably be dead. If we can speak to him inside the tower, I would be grateful.